Chad's first flip right here, right behind me. Super stoked for it. It's over in Evergreen. He goes over the tips, the tricks, the lessons learned, how he funded it, how he found it, and all of that good stuff all in this video. So if you're interested in flipping, this is it. Especially over the mountain area like this in Colorado. And look at this scene. You'll get to see some incredible views. Once we get inside the house, you'll see it coming forward into this. Me and Chad go way back. We were agents on the same team. He's still house hacking. He's still teaching people how to house hack at the same time. And I learned a bunch of good tips and tricks from him personally. And this is all coming up in this video. You don't have to go anywhere else. This is all in this video. It's all compiled for your entertainment and your information. So let's get right into it, starting with this Evergreen house. Let's check it out.
All right, let's go check this bad boy out. A little bit on the exterior first. All new deck, all new exterior lighting, complete paint job, all new gutters, all new windows. So really everything is new. The roof we did not do, but the roof is newer. I don't know the exact year, but that was like one piece that we didn't have to do, fortunately. And the water heater as well was newish. So besides that, everything is brand new. Concrete work, that was cracked. We replaced that. Gutter system out, so it kicks it away from the house. We don't have any foundation issues, but yeah, railing, deck. Gotta have a nice deck. I mean, look at these views. And we did get a little bit of an upgrade. We were gonna go wood posts, wood railing, and contractor was like, hey, you might wanna consider this. So that was probably one of the best moves. The way it turned out looks absolutely stunning, in my opinion. A little biased though. But, but yeah, so here this is your lower level. This could be used as one unit, all right? So that's the beauty of house hacking, which a little bias there too, of house hacking is the way to do it. But this would be your separate entrance into this lower level unit. That's a 1 bed, 1 bath. All right, coming on inside. So this is your unit. You could use it as a unit, or you can use it as a secondary portion of the house if it's going to be just used as a single family home. But it gives you optionality. You want options with real estate. This gives you options. So of course your living room, you can hang a TV over there, got a little space. Bathroom looks pretty stunning. In checking out this shower, a little interesting, underneath the staircase. And so at first we're like, how do we make a shower that's underneath the staircase? And if you look at kind of the arched, I think it turned out great. But that's kind of the reason for the arch. Floating vanity there. So coming through here, we have, boom, kitchen. Full kitchen, backsplash, soft close, hardware. You got a little smaller fridge that fits in nicely into the space. Cooktop and microwave. No dishwasher, but it's really meant to be just sort of a kitchenette, but it could be a full-on rent this as an Airbnb, long-term rented, mid-term rented. It gives you those options, a little bit of a pantry there. So then walking through over here, this is a 1 bedroom. Closet, not necessarily the largest bedroom in the world, but maybe a couple or something down here, just vacation. You have your kitchen right there, and your walkout entry would be completely separate from the upstairs. And so this is all new can lighting, all new door hardware, obviously all new carpet. We painted everything, all new baseboard heating, so it is electric heating is the source. We were originally going to keep thought about keeping the old baseboard heaters. They were everything had to go. So everything's upgraded. One little, I guess, secret or inside story is that used to be a fireplace. And so one decision that we had to make is it was yellow, ugly, and towards the end of this project, we realized that it needed $25,000 to get the fireplaces back in working order. And so the decision was either A, do that, B, leave an ugly fireplace that doesn't work, or C, cover it up to put a place for your TV. That was the decision. Maybe not ideal, like mountain house, right? People like fireplaces, but with our options that we had, that was what we made. And the beauty of it is someone that buys it, that's basically just a wall that you take that out. If you want to put the fireplace back, you just have to spend the money on getting it up and running. But this one and the upstairs you'll see as well, boxed off fireplaces. All right, coming upstairs, this will be a door here. One of the last things we need to finish up, but that would be 2 doors separation. So you're gonna, noise-wise, won't be able to hear up and down. And then come on, let's check out the kitchen. Of course, this is one of the things that people love to see. Nice kitchen, right? We got the soft close, we got the olive colored green cabinets, nice brass hardware, full electrical panels, brand new. We have garbage disposal, nice brass overhead light there. But look at this, TV or microwave? I thought it was a TV at first, but I didn't even know how to open it. But that actually is the microwave. And so yeah, all new appliances, can lights again, got this window, nice natural light. This was one feature, the bench. We didn't know exactly what to do there. We were thinking maybe extend the cabinetry over. Then we kind of have to get rid of the window and resize it. We thought some storage in a bench area would be a nice little touch. So I think that turned out really, really well. Coming on over this way, a little dining room area. As you can see, tons of natural light. That's why we live up here, right? We want to get that mountain view. So I have the natural light coming in. All new windows, all new doors, and coming over into the dining room space. Here again, you may or may not be able to tell, but that was fireplace. And same kind of thought process there of it was ugly, the bricks or the stones were falling off, it was dirty, it didn't work, and we could have left it. But we just made the decision, really when we were first looking at this space of where does the TV go? Downstairs, you could have maybe made it work. But if you look around, with a fireplace here, there really is no spot for a TV. We were thinking maybe mounting it there, maybe down there, that'd be weird. So this again solved kind of a major problem of where do you put that TV? And also got rid of the unsafe fireplace and $25,000. But it's there. If you want to pull the wall down, you got yourself a fireplace. Head this way. We want to check out, this is the primary. And one thing to note, I didn't do really anything here besides put the ladder together, and I'll show you the ladder. We have professionals doing work. And we had one final little touch up here working on some tile work. But these guys are awesome. As you can tell, did a stunning job. But we're just finishing up final details. But come check out the primary. I mean, view, right? Again, living up here, you wake up in the morning, looking out at that view, you can't go wrong. One other nice little feature, take a look up there. It was a pretty short discussion, but there was an idea from the contractor to put that long window up there, get some natural light into the bathroom because that would have been really dark. And I think that was an amazing touch that looks really, really good. All right, so coming on back here, you can see here too, obviously we left, this is the back side of the fireplace, left it exposed. I think it connects well with the beam. But yeah, that's the back side of that fireplace there. So let's go check out, walking out on the deck. All right, so here's your $1 million view. There was some, as you can still see, some dead trees. There was a lot more, and we came in, and that was one other project I had of cutting some dead trees down. But we wanted to expose that view as much as possible. But yeah, as you can see, all new decking and exterior lighting. We did the deck up here. It was unsafe and it was a little bit larger, so we cut that back to make it a little bit safer and completely redid the upper deck portion here. Yeah, as far as cost for deck and windows, it was, I had a pretty good idea it wasn't going to be cheap, but just putting it into like reality, deck was $35K, 19 windows, another $35K. So between deck and windows, you're talking $70,000. Like that's how your budget can really start shooting up when you think. But you got to have it, right? You got to have it, and it really makes the house.
How do you feel about like making certain decisions, or like what do you take away from? Like you have a certain budget.
Yeah.
So the work on the fireplace is definitely not something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Doing the windows and the deck was a higher priority, right?
100%.
What would you determine in terms of priority? Is it health and safety as the highest, or like most return on investment? And if it is ROI, what would be the key factors that would be like, okay, bathroom, biggest ROI, or kitchen, biggest ROI?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, a couple tips on like first time investment.
Yeah, as far as like making decisions of what's more important than others and where to spend the budget money. So health and safety, obviously number one. You can't have a failing deck or no handrails or something like that. You got to have a safe house. Number two is like those bigger ticket items, what people want. They want decks, especially with a view like this. They want a nice kitchen. They want a nice bathroom. Loft space, probably not. Like upstairs bedrooms, we don't need to do nothing too crazy. One decision that I'm still on the fence about is in the master bathroom, the primary bathroom. I really wanted tile floor. The cost to do tile floor and the time, the GC was very against it. And so as you'll see, it's like a shower pan. And I think it's okay but we already went over budget. So that would be one thing I would love to do the tile floor, but we made the decision to make that cut. And so that's just one way to think about it. There's other stuff you could have done of like more tree work and but landscaping, it is what it is, something like that. Also like you could spend another $150,000 on just the exterior of fireplace. And garage, honestly, I know with no garage, not ideal, especially being in the mountains of a lot of snow. Like people want to cover their car. That's very desirable. It had to go. Like there was just no room in the budget for a $75,000 garage. So that was one piece that we just had to nix. So cool. Let's go check the upstairs. All right, so we're gonna go check up the upstairs. But as a reminder, when you're thinking about how to really mitigate the cost, like this mortgage is not gonna be low, right? Like $860,000 house, interest rates where they're at. One way you can significantly mitigate and reduce that mortgage payment, rent out the basement. All of this is yours. You get the deck, you get the views, you get the kitchen, you get the primary, you get the washer and dryer behind this door we can take a peek at. But all that, you got the one bed downstairs, washer dryer up here. And so you have 3 bed, 2 bath, that's all yours, nice kitchen, views, deck, and you never have to interact with the people downstairs. So let's go check up the upstairs. New light fixtures. This is a little bit of a vaulted ceiling. We can check the loft in a second. There's a loft up above us, but this is like sitting area, just a little sitting area, whatever you wanted to do as far as like a living area. Then we got 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. We'll check this bedroom first. Check out those views, right? So now we're even up a little bit higher. We have that deck we can walk out on, and you're even up maybe 20 more feet. Get a little bit even better view. Come out here and check it out. You can even see more off to the right there. You can see the storm rolling in. We're getting some snow. It's about to change quickly. But yeah, it's a nice little addition to this bedroom. In here, another decision, going back to what we were talking about as far as where we're cutting things versus budget-wise. Would have loved to drywall this. This paneling was the original. It was nasty and orange. If it would have been like a better paneling, like something that looked good, probably would have kept it, or we could restain it, but it just wasn't, we weren't vibing it. So we just painted it white. Something that could come in here and do like an accent wall, right? Like an olive green or something like that, and just make it not as white, but we went the right white route and let the buyers kind of make it their own. So here you can check out bathroom. Again, all new tile, floors, vanity, all new shower. We had to put in a little bit of shelves here. There was no way to do like a built-in into because that's an exterior wall. So to place your shampoo, we built little custom shelves there. So coming out here, we got loft. We'll check that out in a second. And then this is second bedroom. So here's one decision we made too. This used to be a little deck similar to the other side, and it was unsafe. It had to come down, and versus building out another deck, we didn't really think, what's the point of like going out on your deck to look at the dirt road? So we just put up, a safety rail here, and this still open. So summertime, you get a super nice breeze coming through. There we go. So you can see like this rail for safety, like no one's falling off there. And you still get the breeze, you still can open it up. But that was another decision of just, let's nix that old deck. All right, coming through here, so we got closet there. And then we got loft. So, well, this is the one thing I did here, besides the trees. I put this nice, well, I thought it was sturdy ladder together, but I need to tighten those screws up, but we can, all right, well, there's your answer. Not too sturdy. This is why, I'm a busy man. Honestly, I really enjoy real estate, and as an agent, I don't necessarily enjoy putting ladders together. And so I'm a dad, and that's why I hired this out. It's in the realm of the real estate world, but as you can see, luckily I didn't do anything else here. So, all right, so now we're in the loft, and this is not considered part of the square footage. I'm 6'2", and like don't have too much space here, right? This is about 6'2" exactly. So not part of the square footage, but a really cool area for kids. Maybe someone wants to make an office up here. Get away from the family and put your office up here. But even one more level up, you gotta check out this view. It keeps getting better. So just to have a finished space up here and those views, you can make it what you want. But up here we just did the carpeting, put some new lights in, and called it a day.
Chad, oh my God, dude, this is such a sick view, sick house, and sick couch. Like I'm sinking into this thing.
This is a nice couch.
But curious, how did you find this thing?
Yeah, found it through a wholesaler. Just someone that I know and kind of in contact with, and so I did it with a partner, and my partner and I were just tossing around the idea of doing a flip and keeping an eye out, and got an email and sent it over to him, and he was like, all right, let's check it out more. The spread was pretty insane, which we needed, and so that was the first piece. Is like, so we bought it for $420.
Yeah.
$420 was purchase price.
Wow.
It needed everything. But we were looking at comps, and comps are 800, 900, million in that range. So it's like, okay, $400,000 spread. Let's explore this a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was through a wholesaler, and it was like August when we closed on it.
Yeah. Hard money loan, or how'd you finance it?
Yeah, great question. So we financed the purchase with hard money. And then with the rehab budget, the rental budget, that we did basically credit card, you can call it credit card stacking. Between my partner and I, we each got like $150,000 of interest-free credit.
For each?
Each of us.
Wow.
So between the two of us, we have like $300,000 of interest-free, 12 or 18 months interest-free credit.
That's insane. So credit card stacking, I don't think you need to go too far into that, but who introduced you to that?
Yeah, my guy Ryan Lind with Zero Interest Mastery.
Yeah.
Brilliant. He does everything for you.
Yeah.
All the steps, and it's a pretty mind-blowing concept. There's definitely risks, so I'm not trying to mitigate that. There's risks involved, but if it's a calculated risk, $300,000 budget. You know, if you hard money, you're paying 12% from day one.
Yeah.
We paid 0.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the purchase of the house, hard money, purchase of the reno, credit cards.
Solid. As far as like big experience tips that I mean, this is your very first flip.
Very first.
Very first. And honestly, this looks stunning. But I mean, with the spread, with everything like that, I guess, first of all, before you go into the experience and like what you've learned from it, what is it listed at right now? Because like we've been live for about 2 hours now.
Yeah, 2 hours we've been live.
So I'm like the first showing here.
You are. It's listed 860. We were keeping an eye on comps. We wanted to probably go a little higher. There was one that was sold last month at 889.
Okay.
It was sold in 9 days. Little bit A-frame. I would say a little nicer, of mainly like really tall vaulted ceilings. I think that's appealing to people. That this is just how this is laid out, a little bit more closed off.
Yeah. It's
garage.
a house.
Yeah.
Like this is a house.
Yeah, it's a house versus, I guess, you know, cabin.
Right.
You know.
Right.
One big thing, we've talked about the garage though, like I knew that was going to be a detractor from day one.
Sure.
It just wasn't in the budget. So that one had a garage, that one had, you know, vaulted ceilings. That one's a little bit less square footage.
Yeah.
But they're at 889. You know, we were hoping to be 880, but just the other comps, they all, 80% of them, 90 plus days on market, multiple price cuts to get rid of them. Just being an agent, I know you want to chase the market up, you don't want to chase the market down.
Right.
And so if you started at 900, you'd be price cutting, people think there's something wrong with the house. So, you know, knock on wood, of priced it correctly, but that was a thought process.
I mean, these improvements are pretty insane, Chad. I mean, with everything, like stripping down everything, repainting everything, retiling everything, I'm sure there's so much that you've learned. I mean, we're just gonna go into the top 3 so far. I mean, the top 3 things that you've learned, especially going through your first flip, because there's a lot of people watching right now that just don't know what to expect on their first flip. They want to see that 400 grand split, like that spread. But you know, you going into it and you finally listing it now, what were the 3 main things that you've learned from this?
Yeah, I would say number 1 is you have to have a team. There's no way, or it's your full-time job. And I mean like literally full-time job. You can't do a flip from finding it, funding it, the rehab of it, the design of it. It's impossible to do it. As they always say, you know, twice as long, twice as expensive. Like whatever you think your budget is, just add on a lot of zeros.
Double it.
Yeah. But having a GC though, so one other thing to consider is are you going to GC it yourself? If you are, time, right? And do you know how to do it? And so if the answer is no, then okay, you need to hire it out. And you can either hire it out a full-on GC, where you pay call it 20%. If you're going to hire a GC, they take care of it all, you're going to pay 20% for that. Or are you going to be like the GC and you're going to sub it out? That could be, you know, an option for people. But again, you got to have contacts. You got to know who to call. You got to have time to like, when does the tile guy come? When does the floor guy come? Like, it's not easy.
Yeah, and then not only that, but you have to have certain things done before the next guy comes in.
Exactly.
And if one of them's lagging and the other guy comes in, you're like, well, I can't start working because these guys aren't finished.
Yeah, and so that's on you to schedule that, as if you're gonna GC it. And if you've never done it before, like, there's a lot of moving parts. You know, that's gonna take a lot of time in itself. So just have, you know, that thought process of, do I wanna hire this out? Can I do it myself? You know, where are you at? And then funding it, like how are you going to fund it? So is it hard money? Is it credit card stacking? If it's credit card stacking, you got to get your ducks in a row. You got to have good credit. You got to apply for the correct cards. Like there's cards that aren't good, there's cards that are good. Are you doing it alone? Do you have a partner? Partnership agreement. What does that look like? Who's doing what? So that was another thing, like between Charlie and I, the discussion of like, what is he responsible for? What am I responsible for? In this particular one, like I was the agent, so I brought that to the table. You know, part of the team. You gotta have an agent, you gotta have a contractor, you gotta have a funder, you gotta have a designer, you gotta have a stager, photographer. So you gotta have all this team. So like with Charlie and I, it was he's got a little bit more time in his day, so he kind of oversaw the GC part of it and did a lot of the background of helping find it. And we worked a lot together on it, but then my aspect of it was I'm going to list it, and so you have to have it because again, if you're paying 3%, like the margins are so tight that you got the more stuff you can do in house, the more successful you're going to be.
Gotcha. So team seems to be number one on your list.
Number one.
I know you mentioned before you're an agent, you're a dad, you're just doing so many more things than just doing the GC stuff. So this, like having other people that are professional at this do the work for you, seems to be the way to go. What about number two? Is there anything else that you can think of?
Number two would be communication between the GC, and that was what we were very upfront about in the beginning of not wanting to be in the dark on things. Of if something comes up, it comes up. We got to know about it right away.
Right.
And so we set up weekly calls every Friday at 3:30, and Charlie, me, Gabe, contractor, got on a call. What issues? What's going good? What does timeline look like next week? Are we still? It was always like, are we still on track? Are we still on track? And touching on that point of originally, he was like, oh, it's going to be March, maybe April. I was like, dang, that's a really long time. And then
like 2025 March or April.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, March of 2025 was. There was one piece. There's a storage unit that we didn't actually get to, but that storage unit was going to be another bed and bath.
Oh wow, yeah.
But when we saw the budget, that got nixed. I kind of forgot about that. So that alone was going to add like a month. So that again is like, okay, budget-wise, time-wise, nix that part of it.
Right.
So, but back to like the communication, just being on track, and everybody be on the same page as far as timeline and budget and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Timeline, budget, communications, just making sure the team is on track.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's your money. You got to make sure that everything's all set to go. I mean, GC, sure, they're hired, but like ultimately it's up to you to make sure that everything goes according to plan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything else? Maybe like something that's house specific. Is there anything, let's say, I mean, the fireplace was a great piece of information. Like, instead of putting 25 grand, all that overhaul, that crazy stuff, to just put a wall over it, make use of the space, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you can think of that was super useful?
Yeah. I mean, going into it, having the separate unit was like, again, that's right up my alley, and I love to have optionality. So being able to pull that off of making that a completely separate, I think is going to be very advantageous for the buyer.
Yeah.
And having that. So, now it's just let's hopefully we can find a buyer.
Yeah. Let's list it. Let's try to sell it.
Yeah.
Dude, Chad, this has been such a revelation as far as like seeing what you're coming up with. I think you were talking about this project for such a long time that I even remember it back in the day,
Yeah.
So it's finally really cool to see like it coming into fruition. So stoked on it, guys.
I appreciate it.
So if you do have any other questions, Chad, what's the best way to reach you, man?
Yeah, Instagram, Rocky the Realtor. Probably the best way. Email is chad@thefiteam.com.
Yeah.
Either one of those. Yeah, hit me up if you have a buyer for this place, looking to house hack. I'm an open book, and I really am passionate about real estate, so I'll always be a resource for anybody.
Nice. I mean, he's a resource for me. I like to have this like collective hive mind of information that I'm learning from, and also just basing. I mean, other listings like this, I would have never known about this listing, especially on the day of opening, if it weren't for knowing Chad already, So I love learning this stuff and compiling it and giving it to you guys. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to hear more information, especially on the Denver real estate market and seeing more flips, tricks, and also lessons learned along the way. So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next week.